All right, good morning, good afternoon, buenos dias, boa dia. And it's very nice to see all of you, all our friends from all the Americas coming to come and listen to you, Jordi. So Jordi Villaseca is a co-founder of Destination Spain and Portugal. And Jordi, I think today you have a lovely program. I think we're going to speak about gastronomy just during lunchtime for some of us on the East Coast. Huh? And it's still breakfast time for others on the West Coast. Huh? So,
Okay,
Jordi, you
let's
share your screen and
yes,
we're gonna start.
let me see if
We
I
keep all
know how
the,
to do
we
it.
keep all the question in the Q&A section. We will answer all the question at the end. And let us know in the chat box if there is something with the sound or anything. Huh? We will, of course, this recording will be sent to you at the end. And also we have it on our Dominique Dove Collection YouTube channel. You can see all the recording of all our webinars.
Okay, well, Dominique, today is for gastronomy, wine, and mostly outdoor activities with gastronomy and wine. We know that people want to be more outside than before COVID. So despite that, Spain and Portugal, we can prepare trips that are focused on a specific interest, like kid-oriented trips, family reunions, art and history, gastronomy, Jewish heritage. Today, we are focusing on gastronomy and wine and sightseeing and nature. I mean, gastronomy and wine outdoors. This is what I would like to share with you today. And basically, it will be a set of 10 experiences that we consider a must for getting to learn the culture of Spain. I would like to start saying one thing that I love. This is a sentence by a Catalan writer who once said, gastronomy and wine is the landscape that you see served on your dish. So what you get in the gastronomy of the places is what you see around in the landscape. And gastronomy probably is the best way to learn about the people's place, is the best means to experience a country, and the most authentic path to get along with locals. Especially in Portugal and in Spain, gastronomy and wine is not just eating and filling up the tank. Eating is a value, is a social relationship. Everything happens around the table and around food and wine. So this is important, and that's why I wanted to focus in gastronomy and wine experiences today, because it's one of the best ways to really understand Portugal and Spain. Let's start. What you see here is the landscape of Penedès wine region, which is 45 minutes only away from Barcelona. 45 minutes away, we have this lovely landscape. And here we propose you a great experience, which is a bike tour among the vineyards, and then followed by a biodynamic wine experience. I will explain everything. This is how it works. You take an electric bike. This is not a strong effort. You don't need to be in shape. Electric bikes do everything for you. They are very powerful. And you just go with your guide. Usually Albert is the name of the guide. That leads you across the vineyards and nice ground pathways across different varieties of grapes. This tour, well, you see an example of one of our clients, and we, after 1 hour and a half riding the bike, approximately, uh, we take you to a winery, very special winery named Gramona. Gramona, they produce top wines, sparkling wines, cava, champagne style, but also what they call quiet wines. But they do that under the biodynamic approach. This is very important because today what is biodynamic? Let me explain what is biodynamic approach. This is return to the land and the vineyards what you have destroyed after years and years of chemical agriculture. They discovered, not in Spain, not in Barcelona, but all over Europe, that if we don't get back to former ways to treat the land and the vineyards, we would have no more vineyards anymore in few years. The chemical agriculture raises production, but little by little kills the quality of the soil. So biodynamic agriculture, biodynamic wine production is something that is in place in Germany, in Italy, in France, in Burgundy, in Bordeaux, everywhere. And if you want your clients to really learn about wine, they have to learn about what is biodynamic agriculture for wine. So you will see vineyards where there are animals around, like this. They use horses to treat and to work the land. And well, this is the most rare thing, but it's true that using cow horns, they restore the soil with the special products and ingredients that they need. This is how it works. They bury the horns filled with manure and other ingredients into the land, in the lines of the vineyards. You may say, wow, this is like witches, or this is rare, this is a strange, somebody got crazy. But the true thing is that this is taking place all over Europe, and you really need certified vineyards to say that you have a biodynamic wine. Just to give you an example, well, this is James Gramona, the owner of the winery. They produce top Parker wines, I promise. But just to imagine how important to preserve nature is, falcons, the birds, are part of the team, because they have, in springtime, they have starling flocks of birds, those birds that fly in thousands in flocks, that when the grape is ready to be harvested, the birds just eat the grapes. So that destroys the production. So just having a couple of falcons there, the starlings disappear. So it's a natural way to keep the vineyards safe and ready for harvest. Just imagine how complicated it is. They have more than 80 people in the fields and only 12 people in the cellar. So the importance of biodynamic production is really in the fields. You will visit, of course, the main cellar. You will probably find Xavier Gramona, the brother, who is also taking care of the wines. You will see him at work probably. And then you will visit the underground cellars. It has 3 levels. This is the first level, but there are 2 more below. And we propose you here, after learning about biodynamics in the vineyards, a nice brunch, either outside, if you have a good day, or at the noble saloon of the winery. It's a nice place, I promise, because I have, and Juncal also, we have tried it several times, and it's a beautiful experience. So this is the first thing we propose. This is an outdoor activity, because you will spend most of the time on the bike and at the vineyards with experts and learning about biodynamic wine. But then you will also enjoy a nice tasting and a nice lunch, probably accompanied by 6 or 7 different wines. So, well, this is for you a summary that locates where the experience takes place and just summarizes what I just explained. Let's go for something more. Dominique, you know I talk very much, so if I run out of time, just raise your hand and let me know.
All right, I will. But it's so interesting that I let you speak.
Well, let's move north in Spain now. We are in the Basque Country, by the northern sea of Spain and by the border with France. And here we propose you what we call the flavors of the Basque countryside. This is a gastronomic activity, but also outside and just enjoying the lovely nature that the Basque Country has. This is how the Basque countryside looks like. It's green, it's what we call green Spain. And surprisingly, the ocean, the sea, is just 50 kilometers away. But this is how it looks, the Basque Country. Juncal could explain maybe better than me, because she's from there. This day, the activity we propose is twofold. In the morning, we will first visit a cider house called Sagardotella in Basque, in Euskadi language. And there you will be taught how cider out of apples is produced. So you will be walking across the apple orchards, and then you will learn about how they if it's the season, how they crunch first crunch the apple, and then press the apples with the use of wood and your own feet. And then you will see how they age these in huge barrels. The most funny thing out of these barrels is that when it comes the moment of drying it, it works like this. They just pinch the barrel and the pressure inside pulls the cider outside, and you have to capture it with your glass. This is how it works. But cider is a very important part of the Basque gastronomy. And we have moved north of Spain into the Basque Country because it's the birthplace of the best gastronomy you can find in Spain. I always say that in San Sebastian, for example, you have the highest concentration of Michelin stars in Europe. So if you look for gastronomy, the Basque Country is the place. After this cider, apples, and I don't know how to say it, basket experience with the cider, we will move into a traditional farm in the mountains that are not far from the sea. This is a farm that has been run by the same family since the 16th century, so 400 years. And here you will learn about the philosophy of these farms, that they were aimed to be self-sufficient. And here, most of the food you will eat with the family in this farm is from the products that they elaborate themselves. These farms were self-sufficient for centuries. And well, that's the way to learn how the food was at that time and how they prepared this. I want to raise the point that these farms are specialized in the breed of a genuine Basque pig breed. And everything that they produce, ham and curated meat, is out of these pigs in a very clean and nice and natural environment. Well, the family will be cooking for you the whole morning while you are at the cider house, and then you will have lunch of their products inside the farm. So this is really a true, genuine experience in the Basque lands, and the food that you will be eating in this place is, how can I say, is the basis that has led afterwards, centuries afterwards, to the extremely high-level cuisine that they have in the Basque Country. So the basics started here in these farms. Here we go. We continue with another experience. Now we move to 3 different areas of the country. It can either be near Barcelona, it can be in the south of Spain, or it can be in Portugal, around Lisbon and Alentejo. Well, I wanted to show you this 15,000 years old olive tree. This is 1 hour south of Barcelona, but there are others around the countries. And this experience is about olive oil. If you want to learn about Spain and Portugal's gastronomy, you have to enter into the olive oil culture. Olive oil is everywhere in our countries. And with these 4 pictures, I want to show 2 things. The first one is that we could prepare an experience for your clients, going after the olive trees and just exercising how to pick up the olives, and then how traditionally they press that. But the reality in Spain is that olive oil is so important that it is really produced in a very efficient manner with machinery and with industrial production. The world of olive oil is as important as the wine in Spain. And we have more than 200 varieties of olives. Some are for eating, many of them are for olive oil production. And I want to say one thing, which is Spain and Portugal are by far the largest producers of olive oils in the world. When you buy a bottle of olive oil that says Italian olive oil, 90% sure that olive oil is from Spain or Portugal, because Spain and Portugal produce 20 times more olive oil than Italy. Actually, Italy produces very little olive oil. So what I'm proposing you around this liquid gold, as we call it, and is to transmit to you that if your clients want to learn about Portugal, want to learn about Spain, they have to enter the olives world. We have olives everywhere in many different shapes and fashions. And I know some people don't like olives, but I insist you should try the different varieties that we have. The experience I'm proposing here is not to go to an olive tree garden or to a factory where they press the oil. We can organize that for you. But the experience here is in Lisbon. At Oliveira da Serra, they have a workshop in Lisbon where you will try different olives of their production, which is considered probably the best olive oil in the world. This is a very special. This is the way to enter into the olive oil by the taste. Like when you enter in the world of wine, you first try the wine and then you go to the wineries. The first thing to do is to learn about olive oil in a tasting session like this, a specialized one with the best olive oil of the world. Well, the map shows you that we can provide olive oil experiences in the north part of Spain, in the southern part of Spain, and of course with the red arrow in Lisbon, which is the one that I am proposing here. Let's continue. Another gastronomic experience, which is what we call a market stroll and a cooking workshop. This can also take place in different parts of Spain, and Portugal. I would suggest that probably the ones in the Basque Country and the ones in Barcelona are the most significant and best. These are all hand-picked experiences. It's not like we can provide you a cooking workshop wherever you want in Spain. No, we have hand-picked one cooking workshop in 5 or 6 cities in Spain. And we know the people who do that, and we know how it works, and we know which are the specialties they can provide you there. This, for example, the market stroll and cooking workshop consists in a half-day activity where you spend about an hour and a half with your chef at a fresh food market. This is one of the fresh food markets that we have in Barcelona, Santa Caterina, which has a new roof resembling Gaudi's architecture. But maybe we can get into Ordizia near San Sebastian street market to get the fresh food. Or we can get into the famous La Boqueria market in Barcelona. With your chef, you will be visiting the different sectors of that market, the meat sector, or the fish and seafood sector, or the fruit and vegetable sector. There are more sectors like cheese and poultry and whatever you wish, but just to give you an idea. And the important thing is that with your chef, you will be selecting what you need for that day and what is best to prepare the food in the afterwards cooking workshop. This is one of the venues that we have ready for you to do the cooking after you have been in the markets. This is in Barcelona, and I'm glad to say that this place was the former house of Columbus, the discoverer of the American continent. So it's a special place, and it's a 14th century house. Very well equipped for the cooking workshop. But if we are in San Sebastian, we also have a gastronomic private club where with the chef, Pepe, you can be hands-on cooking or preparing pinchos or depending on what you wish after the market stroll. If we are in San Sebastian, we will probably be preparing, sorry for those who are at noontime, this is hake with clams and green sauce, delicious with quite a few garlic. In Barcelona, we prefer to go for paella. This is a seafood paella, but can be a meat paella, poultry paella, different ways. So that's how it looks when you are ready to eat. If you are good, you have a good lunch. If you are not that good, hopefully the chef will solve the problem and you will eat well as well. Well, that's the experience of going to the markets, learning about the food, fresh food. And I want to insist in this point. If we are in Barcelona, it will be probably paella or sophisticated tapas. If we are in Valencia, that will be paella. It's a must. Paella was invented there. In Madrid, we will do migas, is a sort of ratatouille or paella. But if you are in the north, you will be preparing pinchos or hake, the one I showed. In Seville, migas and fried fish. And if you are in Santiago, up north in over Portugal, that would be octopus. They are specialized in octopus. Not many people like that. In Lisbon, especially cakes and pastries. Delicious. Oops. Here we go. Let's continue. We have I want to stress before starting this experience that all these experiences have a part, it's not the group being closed in one place. Of course, if you are in a cooking workshop, you spend time cooking, but it has quite a lot or most of the time outdoors, which is the nice thing to discover every place. What about gastronomic tours? It means a tapas tour. Yes, it means a tapas tour and much more. We have maybe a dozen of different types of gastronomic tours across Spain. Dominique, you have tried one of them. But the idea here is to share with you what we are after, with these tours. I want to insist, these are hand-picked tours, not whatever tour, gastronomic tour you can find in internet. These are hand-picked tours with excellent guides in 5 different cities of Spain. If you ask me for a gastronomic tour somewhere else, I will look for that, but I'm not sure about that. These are good ones. We can start with tapas. In Barcelona, for example, we used to go to an Ultramarinos shop. Ultramarinos means beyond the sea products, which provide an incredible variety of tapas and drinks. You were here, Dominique. I don't know if you remember this.
Yes, I do remember the picture. I have the same one, remember?
Okay.
Oh, no.
And of course, also in Catalonia, in Barcelona, you will go after pa amb tomàquet, which means bread with tomato, is the national dish. And it's a must in Barcelona, but the most important thing is not the bread with tomato, is all the food and cheese and meat that accompanies it, and the wine. In places like this one, which is a 16th century house in the heart of Roman Barcelona. But we can, in addition to an itinerary with 6 or 7 different places when we try tapas and we try drinks, we can organize a gastronomic tour more in fewer places, but designing it more rich in wines, so you can try different sets of wines, and doing things like, for example, a cheese pairing, or a gastronomic pairing of different wines with different sophisticated dishes. So a gastronomic tour means that you will be walking a little bit, maybe 1 hour maximum, along an afternoon, evening in one of the cities, and you will design more or less what type of tour you want to do. I mentioned it can be a tapas tour, which is delicious, and you learn a lot of different varieties of combinations of food. Or you can focus more in wine, maybe beer. For sure, one thing you will have to do is try to drink with a porron. It's not easy. I must say I'm quite good at it. I'm quite expert with this, but you will try if you do that in Barcelona. Every house in Catalonia used to have one at the entrance for the people to refresh when they arrive home. With wine, not with water, with wine always. But if we are in Lisbon, instead of Barcelona or the north of Spain, we will be more focused on vegetables, soups, and fish. Of course, in Lisbon, you will try the liqueurs that they like to prepare, like ginginha, which is a cherry liqueur, quite strong. And of course, you will be trying the pastéis de nata. I don't know in English how they call that, but it's a cream cake. It's delicious.
Yeah.
And if we move down to Seville, you will try fresh fish, fried fish, probably with sherry wine, which is a very good wine. I love that. In Seville as well, you will try the ham, which is around Seville is where there are the 5 regions that produce the best ham in Spain. It's eaten all over. Barcelona and Madrid account for 50% of the consumption of ham, but the ham is produced around Seville. So if you are in Seville, you will probably try the best ham in one of the plentiful bars and places for trying. So you see here the map. The map shows you where we can provide you with these gastronomic tours, adapted to what you look for. If you say, we don't drink wine, we will do one without wine. But if we want one intense in wine, we will do that. And Barcelona, Bilbao, San Sebastian, Madrid, Seville, and Lisbon. Other than this, we can provide you a tour, but it will be a conventional tour. If you are in one of these cities, it will be a very, very special experience. Oops. Let's continue. We are back in the Basque Country. We will get back there soon, often, because it's where the best gastronomy is found. And here we propose you another experience outdoors, which is twofold. It first visits a Chacoli vineyard. Chacoli is a special type of a variety of grapes that produces a white wine. And then we will visit an Idiazabal cheese farm. But first you will visit the vineyards. The vineyards are special because they are by the sea, which is not very common. They are by the sea, by the Northern Sea, which is a strong, tough sea. And you will learn about the variety of Chacoli. Chacoli is a Basque word. They use case all the time. And you, of course, you will do a lovely tasting with some appetizers, cheese probably, in the vineyards. It's a light, very light yellow color wine, dry, delicious, and served very cold. Here's how it works. But after that, this is a full day tour, but after that, we will get to a farm where they produce Idiazabal cheese. The cheese starts with a Lacha breed sheep, unique in the Basque Country, special, it's a breed that is grown in the Basque Country only, and nearby, in some areas nearby. And here you will visit the farm. It's not just visiting and smelling the farm, it's hands-on. So you will be participating on how they care about the animals. And one thing I want to say is that Idiazabal cheese is not a cheap cheese. It's an expensive thing. It's a delicatessen for the chefs around the world. It's a smoked taste, very special. And you will be hands-on working to prepare it with the sheep milk. You will be well-dressed to do that. You will participate in preparing. Then what you do will be stored in the shelves for months. And we will not make you wait for months. So you will be offered cheese tasting with Idiazabal and other cheese to compare. That's important to compare. And you will learn some easy recipes. For example, a toast, slices of cheese and anchovies. If you try this is one of the best things in the world. Instead of Chacoli, the white wine, I would go more with the red wine for this appetizer. But if you dare, try it. If you will find Idiazabal cheese in the US and in Mexico and Latin America, I'm sure. This is simply delicious. But the day will not finish here. After Chacoli and after the Idiazabal cheese, you will be hungry. So we will move down to Guetaria. Guetaria is a medieval town by the sea. You will visit a little bit, walking across the streets, the medieval streets of Guetaria and by the harbor. And then we will get to a fresh fish restaurant where they have a piece for each one of you. It will be grilled, it's fresh fish of the day, and you will have this excellent meal just overlooking the bay and the harbor. So this is the experience in the Basque Country, the Chacoli and Idiazabal cheese experience. Okay, This activity is more a little bit of decadence and indulgence. It's just relaxing and enjoying a city like Barcelona. In Barcelona, we love to have the sea and the beaches, but we always look at the city. Sorry, we always look at the sea from the city, but we never look the city from the sea. That's why we have this special experience that we call sail to lunch. You will meet your guide in a small group or in private, and you will be taken to the Olympic harbor, and from there you will board a catamaran, and you will start sailing for 1 hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, along the skyline of Barcelona. If it's June, July, August, sure you will be able to have a swim and in the open waters, which I strongly recommend. And when it gets to the time of vermouth, the time of the vermouth is when we take the appetizers on board with vermouth. Vermouth is like the martini, Italian martini, but locally produced, which have some differences. And you will be enjoying that on board. You will have time to take your sun bath, to swim in the waters, and take the vermouth. And other drinks, of course, if you wish. After this, the boat will dock at the harbor, the catamaran, and then you will be taken to Barceloneta district. It's like little Barcelona district. It's what you see in the image. Few people visit this part of Barcelona, but this is the former fisherman place by the beach, which is one of the most popular beaches of Barcelona. I love this picture, for example, from above of this district. It's not a rich district, I must say, but it's full of flavor and full of stories that your guide will be explaining while you walk across these streets. And after this, you will stop by at the restaurant and you will have a 3 main courses lunch of its local specialties with tapas and a lot of wine. And after the lunch, the experience is over, but I would invite you to spend some time and relax at Barceloneta Beach, overlooking W Hotel or just the waters. So it's oh, sorry, this probably will be one of the guides that you will meet for this experience. This is, I would say, just indulgence. Relaxing, having fun, and enjoying great gastronomy in Barcelona at the same time that you have an open air activity benefiting from the ocean and the beach, the Mediterranean Sea and the beach. Oh, another one. Now we are south of Spain. We are in Malaga. That's a night view of the harbor in Malaga. Malaga is the birthplace of Picasso. And Malaga is the birthplace of Antonio Banderas as well. Here we propose you a rather simple experience, but many visitors don't dare to, how do they say, to do this on their own. This is what we call sardine espetos, which is sardines, fresh sardines, just pinched with a stick and grilled at the beach. This is how it works. A tradition that has been in Malaga coast for centuries. Probably in Northern Africa, in Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia, they do similar things because the people in these areas are very close one from another, so they share traditions. But this is typical in Malaga, and not only sardines. You can have boquerones, you can have calamari, you can have octopus, you can have sardines, for example. Visitors will probably see that these espetos are all over along the beach in Malaga and other towns of the Malaga coast, but I don't know why they don't dare to just go ahead and have a dinner or an evening appetizer based on this. So we propose an activity which takes 3 hours. You will learn how this is prepared. You will be hands-on preparing espetos with a specialist, and you will also, well, you will enjoy this delicious fish. I know that in the US, some people don't like the fish with the head and the eyes, but if I get a dish with fish without the head and the eyes, I will never eat that. So I need the the whole animal in there. But this little experience will teach you how to prepare espetos. You will try the espetos with sherry wine, which is the way, or beer, which is the way to enjoy it. And you will also learn about how the sea life and sailing has been for centuries in the area of Malaga, and how they construct the javegas, which are the boats that they use to fish the sardines, and the boats that they use when they are old to prepare the espetos, the sardines. So it happened south of Spain. Wow, we are back in the north again. This is probably a picture mid-June, July, because the harvest is not yet over. And this is a proposal that has proven incredibly successful and satisfactory among our clients. This is a hiking in Montserrat Mountain. Where is this? This is 50 minutes away from Barcelona, only 50 minutes away, very close, and it's a very special mountain. Special for two things. The first one is because it's a very special nature, a very special formation of rocks, a geological, I would say, something unique geologically. And the other one is because there is a monastery of Benedictine monks that has been there for 1,000 years. And it's a holy place for the people of Catalonia. But the experience is very intense. It's about a 6-7 hours experience. And you first go up to the monastery with the aeri, the cable car, if you wish. If you feel afraid of this, then we can go by car, or we can go by a cogwheel train, or we can combine. You go up with the aeri and you come down with the cogwheel train. Once you are up, what will you find? You will find the monastery, Montserrat Abbey, in this very special place and rocks. You see that the rocks are hanging and almost falling over the monastery. And from here, we propose that you engage in a hiking for maximum 3 hours. It depends on the shape and mood that you have that day. We will adjust on the same day. If you feel that you are in a good mood, then we will start maybe the easy way. And it means that going up and going up, maximum for 3 hours, no more than that. The easy way or the hard one. Or we also have the emergency option, which is you go up the mountain with the cable car, and then once you are up, everything is flat. So, but it's very nice, it's very special to walk across these rocks. And if you manage to get up to one of the, from many places you will have lovely views, but if you manage to get to the top one, this is at the top of the mountain, 1,400 meters high, you will be able to see the Mediterranean in the far end, and you will be able to see the Pyrenees mountain range in the other end, which is the border with France. So the distance between this point and the Pyrenees and the border is about 100 miles. So it is like from here you can see the whole country or the whole region of Catalonia, very special. But in addition to this hike, which is nice, look, this is myself and Juncal. We did it once. It's a lovely environment. You go through places like these ones. Every rock in this mountain has a name. For example, the rock at the left, that it's a hanging rock, it's called the Bishop's Chair. And the hole in the rock also. Everybody knows this part of the mountain. And if you feel in good mood, we can do rope climbing as well. Here is where most of the people who do rope climbing in Spain train. So if you walk across the mountain, you will see dozens of people with ropes hanging from the rocks. In this experience, we will leave you time to wander around the monastery area. If you feel keen, you can get inside into the basilica for a prayer or to visit the Chamber of the Virgin, or maybe just listening to the boys' choir at 1 o'clock. But before that, you should be outside of the church to hear the bells play, which is impressive. They have 8 bells, and the biggest one is 7,000 kilograms. So when it rings, those people here in the picture just made sure that the bell wouldn't ring when they are there, because otherwise they would get deaf. And this is not all of this experience. We can have lunch up in Montserrat if you wish, but our recommendation is that we then get down and we get again back to the Penedès wine region. And in this region, we would visit Parés Volta for lunch or for a little visit into the vineyards, and then a brunch or pairing of different wines with chocolate or different wines with cheese. Of course, if you are very active that day and you want to do an exploration of the vineyards with a 4-wheel drive and everything, we can do that. But that's a very complete day. First doing the hiking, visiting the monastery area, and then enjoying some wine in a very special place, which is Parés Volta Winery. Let's see, that also takes place near Barcelona. Well, and this is it. I thought I had a few more. And how long did it take, Dominique?
You did very well. 40, we didn't start at 12, huh? So 40 minutes, but it was fascinating. And I have to say,
Oof.
after 3 hours or more of hiking, I think we could afford to have and the chocolate and the cheese, huh? With the taste. I don't know about everyone else, but I would. Huh? I see, Mauricio, you've checked while you were listening, the production of Spain for olive oil. You're producing half of the world production in Spain. In Spain.
I'm not sure compared to the world production, but I'm sure Spain and Portugal are the largest production in the world.
Voilà. Mauricio has taken, you can see on the chat box, Wikipedia, olive oil, half of it of the world output. Huh?
Wow.
Voilà. Kate, I'm glad you're discovering Montserrat and all this new adventure, even if you've been to Montserrat before. Mimi, you said you would love to hear a video of the boy shore. So I don't know if you have anything or for another maybe webinar, or if you're going there and maybe you could record when they're singing at one. Huh?
But I'm sure in YouTube you will find the recordings.
Videos, huh? Voilà, but we love
I would like to say that the boys choir in Europe, there are 2 boys choir, one in Vienna and this one in Montserrat, and the 2 are considered probably the top 2 ones in the world.
Mm-hmm. Kate, you said you're all very hungry. I agree with you. What I would start, I said olive oil maybe and bread, and then we'll go from there. And so we have on the Q&A, back to the vineyard, which was the beginning of your presentation.
Yes.
As far as the vineyard, do you know what is the composition of the soil?
Well, in this region of, I'm not an expert, but in near Barcelona, there are 3 main regions for wine production. One is Priorat, which is not the one I mentioned, and another one is Empordà. Both have what is called schist, the type of soil, but the one in Penedès is more like, I would say, standard ground, a place rich, not rich in stones, in rocks, but really good ground to grow vineyards. But it's true that they have been producing wine and taking care of vineyards for about a century and a half with chemical agriculture, and they really needed to get into biodynamic agriculture to recover the lands. And after that, they are producing excellent sparkling wines and excellent reds and whites.
Thank you. Céline, you're asking if biodynamic means it could be a good kosher wine.
Well, it's not the same thing, but there is kosher production in the region, in different, in the 3 different regions of these 3 regions in Catalonia. They produce kosher wines, but very few. So if you want a big choice, will be difficult. Mm-hmm. But I know there are. For example, there is a lovely winery, nice to visit in Priorat and Montsant region. The wine is a top quality wine, and the winery is named Capsanes, and they produce kosher wine.
Thank you. How many people you take to the farm at the same time? How do you cater to different menu requirement, vegetarian, lacto, or other?
Ideally, I mean, we could take groups, but we don't do groups. So the ideal thing would be 6, 7, 8 people. Well, if you are 12, we can do that as well. And they will be happy to show you outside the vineyard and then to prepare a table in the vineyard or maybe at the noble room that I mentioned. But I think the ideal would be maybe no more than 12.
Mhm. Céline, you're asking when are the cooking lesson in the day, morning or night? How many can you pre-book for 2 weeks?
We can do that in the morning and in the afternoon, but I recommend to do it in the morning for lunchtime because it's when the markets are full of produce. If you do that in the afternoon, the markets are half empty because all restaurants. Uh, Let me explain one thing. In Spain, we really eat fresh food. People buy every day what they need to cook and prepare. Barcelona, for example, has 23 fresh food markets in the city. So if you want fresh produce, it's easy. You will not walk more than 10 minutes to get into a market. And but you have to go in the morning.
Mhm. Tapas, when you go for tapas, you can ask for vegetarian tapas only, of course.
Yes, yes, we can do that. Although you will miss some fun with tapas which are not vegetarian, but that's the choice of everyone.
The Txakoli wine, is it only white wine?
Sorry, Chacoli is only white, yes.
Exactly. The Ediazabal is only in the Basque Country, or is it available all around Spain?
Well, I mean, the distribution works and you can find it probably even in the US or Mexico or Colombia in specialty stores, but in the Spain, it's produced only in the Basque Country and some parts nearby, like Navarra, which is the neighbor region.
Céline, you're still asking, Barceloneta is a real beach or man-made?
It's a real beach.
Real beach, huh?
Yeah.
Does the monastery require special dress codes?
Well, I mean, they will ask you to dress respectfully, but maybe I would say I've seen people in shorts inside, but if the shorts are too short, maybe you will be said not to enter.
Eddie, you said you asked what is the best season to travel?
Personally, for wine experiences, I would like to go in May, June, because it's when the vineyards are with the best green color.
Okay.
But if you go in late August for the Penedès region I mentioned today, you will be there in harvest season. It's true that in the harvest season, the wineries are just concerned about the harvest, not about the visitors. But maybe after the harvest in beginning of September or October, it's also a good moment for wine experiences. For gastronomy in general, all over the year.
Montserrat, when is it open? Early on the day, never at night?
No, Montserrat is open since 8 in the morning. Sorry, 7:30, the first prayer in the main basilica, until 7:15, which is after the last prayer in the basilica.
Eddie, you're asking when will the country be fully open? And I'm glad you asked. You think the presentation was fantastic.
Thank you. But sorry, the question was?
When will the country be fully open for travelers?
It's difficult to say, but I'm sure that after summer it will be open. I'm not sure July, August, how much will be open. I'm not sure. But for example, Barcelona city, I know it because I live in Barcelona and it's where I can move these days. We are not allowed to move to other parts of the country yet. But in Barcelona, 75% of the tourism attractions or places to visit are open. 75%.
Thank you. Susie, you're asking for private tour or for family or for what type of transportation do you use? Do you pick them up at the hotel?
Yes, yes, we do pick them up at the hotel. Sometimes is the people or the guide that meets you at the hotel if it's a walking tour. But if we have to get to some place, we can invite you to go on your own to the meeting place if it's easy. But if you prefer a transfer, we will provide a transfer and a transfer for the whole activity as you wish or as required.
Thank you. Mimi, you would like to receive all the names on the YouTube names for the Boyd Core. Maybe Jordi, when you do the follow-up, could you send this information? Maybe
I will, yeah, let me note it down.
Thank you, everyone. Gracias, Reina, for your wonderful comments. And Dina also. Reina, you're also asking for an itinerary combining Spain and Portugal. How many days do you recommend so to experience the best of the experience you mentioned?
For Spain and Portugal, to have a nice experience of both countries, I would say minimum 10 days, minimum, but ideally 15 days.
And to do everything you show us today?
Oof.
Oh,
18 days. 18 days.
18 days. Huh? Wow, but especially before lunch for some of us, it was a wonderful presentation. Huh? I mean, the cheese, the olives and olive oil and everything. And the way also we learn how they do or redo this biodynamic and so on. It's really interesting to see. Huh?
Let me say one more thing about biodynamic. If you have clients that are really into wine and they don't know about biodynamics, I would say they know little about wines, because biodynamic is how the best French wines, the best Italian wines are produced since, I would say, 25 years ago.
Well, thank you very much, Jordi. It was very interesting. Donna, you said thank you, Jordi is very knowledgeable. Yes, he is. So don't hesitate to reach out directly to Jordi. You can take personal appointments via our Let's Connect 365. Of course, Jordi will do the follow-up. The video will be available also on our YouTube channel. And we can't wait to see you at 2 p.m. We're going to Italy with Perpetuo Traveler. So see you at 2 p.m. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Again, Jordi, thank you for staying a little late for us. And
thank you all.
Soon. Huh? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.